I saw the play on Broadway, and when I heard Jay Roach was directing it, I knew it was something that I wanted to be a part of. I definitely did not think in any way, shape, or form I would be playing Dr. King. That's always a role that I've shied away from. But I knew.
Why so?
Just because it's a monumental role, and I feel like I didn't want it. Just like Hamlet, I just never wanted to take on Dr. King for the wrong reasons. I feel like if you're going to portray a man and all of his idiosyncrasies, you have to do that with a certain level of respect and dignity to his image and how it's going to look and play on forever. So it's something that I didn't want to get wrong, and I knew there was great potential with Dr. King for me to get it wrong, and I don't like to be wrong.
What did you think of the relationship between MLK and LBJ?
It was great. I mean, I always say this movie should be called the Lost Art of Compromise. I feel like when you look at Dr. King and everything he was able to do between the civil rights movement and the White House, that was amazing. If you look at
It was a minefield on both ends for him, right?
On both sides. And if you look at LBJ, everything he was able to do in the White House and the Senate,
Democrats, the Dixiecrats.
You'll never see a president rule the Senate the way LBJ did. You'll never see that again. And that's because he had the art of compromise. He realized no one was all the way right, no one was all the way wrong. So he'd give a little to get a little. And that's what's most important. We live in a society today where compromise is considered weak.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate.
And that makes no sense. You'll never win by. You have two types of people. You have the type of people who stand at the gate and bust their head against the iron and get nothing done. You have the type of people who play the game, get in the gate, and then make change. And the great thing about it is with LBJ and with Dr. King, they were the type of men that played the game to get inside.
And they had the long view, didn't they? They knew what they were doing had import for generations to come.
Baby steps. They realized that, with Dr. King and LBJ, Dr. King realized that with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, voting rights was a part of that. But he realized he couldn't get civil rights and voting rights at the same time.
Correct.
So he gave up voting rights to get civil rights, knowing that once civil rights was in, you would have to give them voting rights. I mean, that's the type of mentality, the type of thinking that you don't see in politics today.
Because some people they want everything right now or nothing.
Exactly.
And then they could say, at least I stood by my principles while I lost.
And you have a house full of principles and nothing else. And I think that's where we are right now. We have a bunch of people with a bag of principles and nothing else. I think it's very important to remember, no matter what you think or say about LBJ, no one touched civil rights since Abraham Lincoln passed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
So there were a whole lot of presidents in between him and Abraham Lincoln. So that means he's a hell of a man to be able to do what he did.
So this is a nice companion piece to the movie Lincoln in a way, isn't it? It's...
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
No,
definitely.
Yes, that
definitely.
one,
Exactly. That one was the historically accurate one.
Right, so we'll see LBJ Vampire Hunter as a sequel, right?
That would be a damn good movie.
Well, before we go, I know you shot Captain America: Civil War here. How's Atlanta treated you, or how have things been?
Atlanta's always good to me. If y'all, it always, no matter when I come to Atlanta, I have a good time. I'm either shooting a movie or the Saints are beating the Falcons. So I'm always.
Ouch! You are right.
Every time I come,
you got me.
Matt Ryan is the proverbial giver.
And are you happy with how Captain America's been received?
Definitely. I said early on when I read the script, and I'll say it again, that Captain America was an amazing superhero movie. Not just a superhero movie, just a great film. Something that you can sit and watch and enjoy and get story and character development. And I truly believe, I say the same thing about Avengers Infinity Wars 3 and 4. It's going to change the landscape of movies as we know it. I mean, you're looking at a movie in 2 parts with a huge storyline and huge amount of characters. So, and able to negotiate that and put those together, I think is something that you've never seen anything like it before.
I forgot to ask a question earlier, but Bryan Cranston, working alongside him, what was that like?
It was Ali Frazier. I've never had anyone push me to the limits.
Were you Ali or were you Frazier?
Oh, I was. I'm pretty sure I was Frazier.
Fair enough.
Because every time I tried to stick him, he would jab and shake his way out. But we had a great time, and I learned a lot from BC. I feel like the way he he performed a character who was larger than life and gave him humanity and dignity. And there are very, very few actors who can do that. There are very few actors who can play someone as large as LBJ and portray him in a way where he's an actual person, not a caricature of himself.
Right.
And Brian did that with ease.
Right, and he does that with every role he's
With
ever
every
been
single
in.
role.
Absolutely, and so you aspire to that yourself in many ways. You've done that, to a degree as well.
Well, that's the goal as an actor. You know,
Yes.
you want the audience to be able to leave and see you as the character as opposed to a celebrity playing the character.
Right.
And that's kind of what you want every time you step on the boards.
Wonderful, wonderful. And before we go, any other projects you're working on this very second, or what?
No, I'm producing 2 movies
Cool.
that are catching heat. One of them is called Make-A-Wish. It's about a football player who gets in trouble, as football players
Are you
do.
are you executive producing? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
And to clean up his trouble, he does the Make-A-Wish program. So he meets this kid, and comedy ensues.
So
between
it
the
is
two.
comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just recently found a script, and I'm producing where I'll be playing the late great Johnny Cochran.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you know about People versus OJ, so you saw him there.
I haven't seen.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's a good idea not to
my
see
wife
it.
said it was good.
It was.
And it's Courtney B. Vance. And one thing I know, I've never seen Courtney B. Vance is the Black Gene Hackman. I've never
Incredible.
seen him bad in anything he's done.
Oh, he did an
So
incredible
I know
job.
If I see him in this, he's going to mess up my head for when I do it. So I'm going to just wait till after I finish.
That's probably a smart move. Did you not see Selma before this too, or are you?
I did not.
Good movie. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. This is Rodney with AJC.com.